You want to know exactly what unusual options activity is? 3,000. 3,000 times 100 is 300,000. 300,000 is 20% of the overall volume. This, my friends, is unusual options activity. And in this video, we're going to talk about what unusual options activity is and how to figure out the intention of every order that you see come in from a customer or a big institution. Let's get into it. So I have you on Keys. Keys is a 5G play. I actually suggested this trade for my members back here. We were in the December expiration. We did well, but didn't catch nearly the entire move. 5G has been a hot sector. Keys has been one of the leaders in 5G. So let's go to the options. You'll notice here in October, 3,000 calls were bought today or were transacted today. If I go higher in September, look at this, 5,000, another 3,000, 8,000. Once these are in the money, 8,000 options is the equivalent to 800,000 shares of stock. The volume is 1.25 million. So the customer, the institution, did these trades, including this trade, in the options market because the underlying stock is not liquid enough to accommodate such a meaty big order. But as traders, we darn well better pay attention to this order because whoever did this put on a ton of risk. So let's give them the benefit of the doubt that they probably know a little bit more about keys than I do and you do. But let's look and see what this order was. In Thinkorswim, I'm going to take you down to time and sales. And let's look at the October 87.5 to 2,500. It was done at 5:30. Now right away you can see the market at the time of the transaction was 490 bid at 5:30. They did the trade on the offer. The delta was 55. The IV was 35, the implied volatility, and the underlying was traded 87.59. They say it's a spread, but this is just Thinkorswim. I'm not always going to trust this. What we really need to do is look at the timestamp. The timestamp was 10 o'clock Central Time. 10 o'clock Central Time, a trade of 2,500 came through. Now, let's look at the chart. 10 o'clock Central, right? Instead of a daily, let me put you on a 1 minute. And I want to look at the 1 minute because I want to see the exact behavior of keys as that trade went through, as that trade was executed. Here's the behavior of keys today. Today is Tuesday, August 20th. Low of 86.24. It looked like it was at the opening, and then it rallied for the rest of the day. But what we're looking for is we're looking at 10 o'clock. And at 10 o'clock, I think you'll see the market went straight up, right? So here was the intention of that order. Somebody bought calls. They lifted an offer and they bought calls, which is a very, very bullish position, but it's also bullish volatility. How do I know they bought calls? Good question. Thank you for asking. As a market maker for 5 years on the floor of the Chicago Board Options Exchange, it's imperative that you become an expert at unusual options activity. That's why in the description of this video, I added a PDF. It's a 4-page PDF. Go through, learn unusual options activity. It will help you with the intention of these major orders. Someone bought the calls. A customer bought those calls. The market makers sold the calls. When market makers sell calls, they are getting bearish. Market makers don't want to be bearish keys. They don't want to be bearish. For one, market makers are trading volatility. They're not trading direction. But for two, if somebody just bought 3,000 calls, do you want to be short? Probably not, right? So what do the market makers have to do? So they sell them the calls, they get short. And the reason the stock rallies is because they have to buy stock to hedge the calls that they just sold the customer. So the stock rallies because the market makers jump in and say, oh no, we're short. Buy, 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 in order to hedge themselves. Once they're finished hedging, the stock goes back down. But Keys has earnings tomorrow, before the opening, I believe. It's actually after the close. Tomorrow, after the close. I encourage you to paper trade this. I encourage you to watch it. I bet that Keys rallies post earnings. And I bet that because somebody is making a very, very, very aggressive bet, buying those upside calls, and we'll give them the benefit of the doubt that they know more than we do. If you're short Keys, I would not be short Keys. I'd want to be long Keys, neutral. I want you to paper trade. I want you to watch, and let's see what happens. My guess is that Keys, 5G, continues to rally, continues to go higher. Hope that helps. Down below in the video description, you can find that PDF, learn more about unusual options activity. My name's Jonathan Rose, and I'm the owner of Masters in Trading.